Greenhouse restaurants, the Swedish endeavor. Sweden is one of the world's leading countries in corporate social responsibility, CSR. CSR is a crucial point of strategic planning. Issues taken into account when doing business include climate change, gender, human rights, and anti-corruption. Sweden has a lot of global power. If we want to establish a reputable business line with them, we need to step up our game and make sure to convey how important environmental issues are to us, and that we have the same goals and ideals in mind for our venture. Although Sweden requires English to be learned as a second language and is of mostly German and Norwegian descent, does not mean that all customs are the same as what we're used to in the United States. As the meeting and event manager at Hageman, I believe it is my responsibility to get us ready for this venture. I want the best for our market and our business partners. Our proposal of bringing sustainably responsible restaurants to Stockholm and eventually more Swedish cities is undeniably sound. We just need to have the right customs down to master our delivery. General etiquettes. Academic and corporate titles seldom used due to the egalitarian style of doing business. For gift giving, wait until the deal is closed to offer gifts. If gifts are given prior, it is customary to wait to reciprocate until after you have been given a gift first. If being hosted, gifts of flowers, liquor, wine, cake, or chocolates are appreciated. It's also important to note that family is very important, so bring small gifts for everyone. An example would be candy for the children. Casual smart is considered dress code, which includes modest, low profile, and not flashy. For men, a dark suit and tie are acceptable for formal occasions. Trousers with a jacket and a distinctive tie can also be worn. For women, business suit or skirt and blouse is acceptable for formal occasions. A blouse with trousers are also acceptable. Thanking occurs frequently, and you need to offer thanks in return. For professional relationships, note that Swedes put business relationships above personal relationships. They guard their private time and private life zealously. Their business relationships are based on respect for competence and diligence. Meeting the business partners for the first time. The management style for Sweden is an egalitarian approach, which means all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. Management is considered the level of work-related responsibilities versus a hierarchical status. This means that there is less social distance between managers and subordinates. Swedes also seek consensus results. They include everybody in the process, and everyone's point of view is valued. Open discussions allow the flow of information between departments and functions. The process can be lengthy and there can be frequent meetings. For the meeting settings, opinions need to be backed by empirical evidence. And agendas must provide structure for consensus-seeking debate. You need to come well prepared and have no aimless discussion. Silence is golden. Don't fill space or air with empty words. Silence is valued and respected. Swedes' body language can seem fairly muted. They can seem disinterested or aloof. This can also feel cold or detached. Do not interrupt. Raise your hand if you have a point to make when you don't have the floor. Directness. Directness is absolutely necessary. Swedes may seem rude due to their directness. They value directness over diplomacy, and serious business needs to be treated seriously. Although Swedes have a good sense of humor, the time for humor is after doing business. People in Sweden take English as a requirement, and most are very competent, but don't confuse competence with absolute fluency. This can lead to misunderstandings or confusions. Swedes put more emphasis on written word than spoken, so we will provide color copies of detailed proposals to all members at the meeting. Now to talk about the restaurants and food. Sweden has effective regulations. Their food is perhaps the safest in the world. The food is labeled with symbols indicating low-fat, ecologically certified, produced abroad, or under humane working conditions. Vegetarian, vegan, and animal rights movements prompted Sweden to become the first in the European Union to outlaw battery cages for hens. The dress code for most restaurants doesn't require a tie for men, although if you're going to an upscale restaurant, they do require men and women to dress well. Highly styled clothes are considered normal for evening attire. For meals, usually at breakfast, it's highly unusual to have a meeting to discuss business. Their breakfast usually consists of bread with butter or cheese and some muesli, which is typically considered cornflakes, with some filmjölk. It's a yogurt-like milk product, and coffee. Lunch is relatively light, can be hot or cold, and the common components are bread, pasta, potatoes, carrots, cabbage, peas, herring, salmon, and meat. It's usually eaten earlier in the day between noon and 1 o'clock p.m. They do not drink alcohol during lunch. That's important to note. For dinner, it's usually heavy with meat and potatoes, but if they don't want to be as heavy, they substitute with fish. They make a Swedish skål toast with beer or wine, and it's common to eat dinner between 6 and 7 at night. You can talk business during dinner, but don't get too deep into the business discussions. Don't expect decisions to be made either while eating dinner. It's important to note that 76% of Sweden's total employment is in the services. This is beneficial for our line of work. Tipping in restaurants is not considered necessary. Swedes usually just round the bill up. Expect to pay to hang your coat in the cloakroom, however. Our last topic for discussion is sustainability. Sustainability is a way of life in Sweden. As outlined in our business proposal, we would like to implement the vertical greenhouses throughout our plan. Any establishments that we have in Stockholm and thereafter will have these vertical greenhouses. They provide integrated solutions for energy, excess heat, waste, carbon dioxide, and water. Sweden ranks first in the European Union for consumption of organic food. They also lead in recycling drinking cans and bottles. They rank the highest in saving energy through renewable sources. The Swedish government allocated 400 million kroner for research and development of environmental technology or green technology. H&M is the Swedish fashion retailer, and they are the world's leader in using organic cotton, according to the Textile Exchange Organization. The organic food market in Europe is growing 5 to 7% every year, and Swedes rank at the top of the green shoppers list. The correct use of general etiquettes, understanding the management and meeting styles, and customary dining rules will provide a strong backbone to our proposal. Our stance on sustainability will compel our business partners and make it an easy decision. To quote Abraham Lincoln, "When I'm getting ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what I am going to say, and 2/3 thinking about him and what he is going to say."